Hello, I'm Lantop. In this class, I'll be building a form validation using HTML and JavaScript. So I want to take you to how to build a form validation using JavaScript. I'll just be creating a simple form in which we have the username, email, password, and confirm password. So what we just want to do is just to create do a form validation using HTML with JavaScript. So let's get started. I'm going to save this file as an HTML file. I'm going to save it as an HTML file. So I'll just call it form.html. So this is an HTML file that I have to show you. Okay, let me zoom out my computer. Zoom in, zoom in. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll be creating an HTML file form. So let's start with HTML closing tag. Now I'll be creating a body tag closing body tag. I'm trying to zoom one more time. Zoom in. Okay, zoom in. So I'll also be creating form for this form. Okay. So I have my form will just consist of the username. Okay, let me say email, inputs, type equal to text, size equal to 20, and I also have password, inputs, type equal to text, size equal to 20, and I also have confirm password. Inputs, type equal to text, size equal to 20, and I'll have this my submit button, which is input type equal to submit. I'll set this to be disabled. Then I'll set the value to be equal to sign up. I want the value should be signed up. Okay. So let me display my form so you can see how my form looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you how my form looks like now. Trying to locate my form. Okay. So my form looks like this. This is my form. However, I would like to make sure that everything appears on a line, like email, password, Then I have password and the input for the password in the next line. Confirm password also for the next line. Then submit for the last line. So I'll make a new change in my code. I'm going to make a new change in my code now. So this is my code. So then I'll be creating a break line. I'll be creating a break line. So I can make this break line twice. So ensure that it's better spaced. So let me refresh the site again for you to see. So I have something like this, which looks so simple. So what I want to do is, you can see my submit is disabled. So what I want to do is to validate this email, ensuring that user use a correct format of email, which should include at, dot, and dot. So I'll be searching for at and dot to ensure that the email is validated, and also password. I want my password to be the same with my confirm password. Like user should have the same password as the confirm password. Then I want a capitalized password, like password should include at least an uppercase. Then I also want numbers should be included, and special character like at, dot should be included. So let's go back to the code. My code looks like this. Okay, so for the validation, I'll be creating a span here right before breaking the line. So the span is going to tell us about the validation problem we have in the email. This is for the email. So let's say user didn't type the incorrect format of email. Then here, just beside the email, it's going to say that incorrect format of email, invalid email submitted. So I use an ID to identify this. So I also need the same kind of span here, and I'll be using different ID. ID. Okay, so let's move to our HTML, to our JavaScript. Sorry. So I'll create a script. Use script tag. So the first thing I would like to do in this script is to validate the email. Just validate the email. Then I'll be using the on key up to validate the email. So on key up means that is an event in JavaScript that knows when user is typing, filling the form, typing in this particular input. So as the user is typing the input, I'll be validating the input of the users. So I'll run a particular function called check email. So this means that on key up, as user is pressing the keyboard here, typing his email using this particular input, then I'm validating the form. So just right here, I'll say that function, I'll say function. Okay, I'll create a variable function check to be equal to function like this. I also need to identify the email. So I'll need an ID here. So I can say that ID equal to email. I'll create an email variable called email equal to get document that gets elements by id email. So I'm basically getting this particular input as the user is typing it. I'm getting it, the input, as this function is being called. So I will need the value for this. I need the value. I need to get the value. Okay. So then I'm going to check if this value has some key features which are expected to be in an email, which should be the at and the dot. So I'll say that if email dot search, I'm going to search for dot and at. So if email dot search, so if I have these two elements, if email dot search is equal to -1, let's say if I didn't have the element included, this means that if I search this particular form input, then this dot and at is not included, then I'm going to validate that this particular span, I'm going to display that invalid email. So let me get the span using the same get element by id. So the name of the span is sp1, but I don't need the value. I need to change the inner html. So I'm going to set it to be invalid. I also like to change the color. Show it like an error, which I would like to use red. So red to me signifies an error. So I'm going to create an else condition, so which will tells us once the users type the correct email format, then I'm going to delete this invalid email. So this looking fine to me. So let's try to test it if it works perfectly. Okay. So I'm going to share my browser again to see if it's going to work perfectly. So it's not working perfectly. So let's check the code again to see if there is a particular error. So we have this on key up. These are function we want to run. Check email. So we have to check this email.search if is equal to -1, then we try to check out where the error could be. So I perceive that we didn't include this in brackets, and also this might not be needed. I think everything is looking good. So let's try to check again if it works fine. So I'm going to share you my browser again. So this is my browser. So I'm going to say that laptop, okay, 4h at gmail.com. So it's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. So if I deleted this, I'll have the error appear again. So let's try to validate the password now. In the password, the first thing I would like to check is if this password has an uppercase. Then I'm going to check if it has a number. Then I'm going to check if it has a special character. And I'm also going to check if password and confirm password are the same. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you my code again. So this is the code we have here. Let's create another function which will be called by the onKey of events in our password. So I'm going to call this one check password. So we'll create a new function var check password. Okay, equal to function. Okay, we need something like this also to first get the ID of the password. So let's create an ID for this password. ID equal to password. Just a few words. It looks simple. We see that keyword equal to document that get element by ID keyword that value. So I've gotten this. So let me just try to get the confirm password also. So I see that ID equal to C keyword. So that is the name of my variable C keyword. So I see that VLC keyword equal to document that gets element by ID C keyword that value. So I've been able to obtain the two values for password and the confirm password. So my first check is to check if this password has anything capitalized. So to do that, it's almost the same thing with this, which is if keyword dot search, then I'll be searching for the format of A to Z. So if you have anything capitalized letter, then if it doesn't have, that means equal to -1. If we doesn't have any capitalized letter, then we're going to write something on our span, which should be span 2. So we have span 2 that we should validate. So what exactly should be on our span 2? We say that I'm using this format. That's why I copied it. So span 2 instead, span 2. So say password must contain an uppercase. You say password must contain an uppercase. So that should be fine. If everything looks fine, then please check password. Password must contain an uppercase. It's being written as sp2, which is the span of the input of the password. So let's check it on our browser. going to show you my screen. So let me refresh this. Okay, it's looking fine. It's looking fine. So let's try to put the another condition. Okay, let's try to put another condition. Let me refresh this first and see if I just started by writing a, okay, a capital letter, then small letter a. Everything looks fine because I've already given an uppercase. But if I started by giving a lowercase, then it comes up. So let's check for another condition. Because you haven't provided an alternate condition where everything looks fine, so you haven't been able to clean up this span. So we'll do that now. Okay, so I'll create another condition, else if I'll see else if condition. So something relating to this. In this case, I'll be checking for numbers instead of uppercase. Just the same thing with this anyway. So to check for number, I'll change this to 0 to 9. Then I have to bring this curly brackets where I'll display everything required. So I'll copy this. It's quite the same. It's only that we are checking for number now. Password must contain a number. So everything looks fine. Everything looks fine. So let's try to see how it works now. So let's see it on our browser. So I have this error, then I'll put a capitalized letter, password must contain a number. Okay, so that looks cool. Now we check for special character. I'll just copy this. So it looks so simple to me. I'll just copy this, then link up some list of special character to check for. Okay, so I'll leave it like this. The password must contain a special character. So being displayed at SP2. So I think it's looking fine. Let's see if it works fine before we proceed to the next thing. So let's start with smaller case, then uppercase, then number. Password must contain a special character. So that works fine. So what this does is like check for this condition. Fine, it has a uppercase. Then check for the next condition. It has a number. Then check for this next condition. It doesn't have a special character. Then it pops off. The password must contain a special character. So since you've checked for this, check for this, check for this. So what you now have to do is to ensure that both confirm password and password are the same. So in this case, I'm going to check for confirm password and password. So I'll say that else if keyword is not equal to cp word, then this should be displayed. You should know that since you are displaying, you are checking for confirm password and password, then you have to check for that in, you have to display that in sp2. Perhaps we can also do it this way to make it simple. We can simply use an else here, else, then we can clean up everything being displayed here, else. So we just clean it up, sp2. Then we'll create a special function for checking for password and confirm password. So I've been able to clean it up now. Once I put a special character, then everything has been checked. Then it's looking fine. Then it's going to clean sp2. So let's try to see if this is cool. So starting from then lowercase, then number, then special character. So it cleans it up. So looking fine. Now we'll create a new function for this confirm password. Checking for confirm password. So in this case, I'm going to say that for the confirm password on key up equal to check confirm. So basically, if user is typing the confirm password, then this check function will run. Check confirm would be executed by our JavaScript. So I have to create a function check confirm, but you should know that this looks useless. This variable looks useless. Yes, it's not going to be needed any longer. So I have to put it in the new function by check confirm equal to function equal to function. So I also have to put now closing bracket here to follow the correct syntax. So yeah, I'll cut this. Okay, I will need to put actually I'll need to copy all this because I'll still need to bring in the confirm password ID and the password ID, but I don't need this confirm password ID no longer in this function. We didn't use it anywhere in this function, so it is useless here. Now we'll now use our check. If keyword is not equal to, then put it in correct syntax. If keyword is not equal to C keyword, then execute the command. We need to display it in our span 3, something like this. So we display it in our span 3. So I'll say sp3, then the error will be password not match. Confirm password does not matches with password. That'll be my error being displayed as span 3. So if the user could be able to make it match, then this guy will be cleared off. So I'll clear it off. Clear it off. You could recall that we've already disabled our submission button. Now I can enable it using by pointing it out the ID. So we have to also identify this submit button. So I'll say ID equal to SM submit. So here SM, I'll set the disabled equal to false, so that it's going to enable it. Disabled has been set to be 2, that is why it is disabled. We are not able to submit the button. So let's test this. Let's see if it works fine. Okay, this I have to put the right order. So I'm just going to check this. It's not looking fine. And my password has actually been set to be test, just because I want to validate something. It should be in password. So I say that laptop 33 uppercase special character. So I was going to say laptop password does not match. Special character. You can see sign up button has been enabled. Now that everything looks fine, then we can change this from test back to password. So I'm going to change it to password. Password. Let's open our code again. And I have to say so it's looking fine, and you then click on submit. So everything is looking fine. So that's how to make a simple validation. You might have some other means of things you want to validate aside from all this, then you can do it in different ways you like. So this is simple validation system that you can build for yourself without using external libraries. So thanks so much for watching. I would love you to subscribe to this YouTube channel in case you've not subscribed, so you can see notifications on new updates like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.